As we approach the conclusion of the year in 2023, I have to report that the year was far better than I had anticipated. A lot of huge anime has been making waves in the last year or two, indicating that the industry is in strong hands as we bid farewell to even more titans of the previous decade. It's a little early for a decade-long retrospective video, but for today's list, we'll go over 10 of my favorite action titles that launched in 2023. Shangri-La Frontier gets things started straight away. With its first few episodes, Shangri-La Frontier, a new child on the block, has already gotten a warm welcome. While I won't claim that this is the finest gaming anime out there, it does a superb job of capturing everyone's interest from the start thanks to its overall quality and eye-catching characters and game concepts. The animation is fantastic, and the creator conducted much game research for this series. Overall, there's a sense of brilliance here, and it felt like the folks behind it put their hearts and souls into it, creating a passionate love letter to gaming and the community that made it possible. And it's a plot with a silly beginning that improves as the anime progresses. Have the time of your life if you're still sleeping on this program by the time this video comes out. Shangri-La Frontier is such a fun program that even non-gamers will like it. Those who have experience with video games, on the other hand, will find it to be one of the most entertaining rides in 2023. Undead Unlock. Here's to a seasonal modern. Undead Unlock, like Shangri-La Frontier, made a strong initial impression as the season began in the fall of 2023. I had great hopes for it coming into the season, and I'm delighted to see that it got off to a strong start. It just took one episode and a frigid opening scene to get the anime community buzzing. Undead Unlock, with a gripping premise and what appeared to be David production putting in a lot of work to make a terrific adaptation, might be the surprising success of the year when all is said and done. The strange streaming rights situation that also restricted those who watched legitimately, similar to what occurred with Summertime Render back then, is what I perceive as holding this back from being much greater. But it shouldn't deter devoted anime fans from seeing this enjoyable and thrilling narrative that provides everyone a taste of everything they'd expect from a Jump series. Wacky plot twists, top-notch action sequences, and a sprinkle of fan service that shonen aficionados will recognize. Make sure to watch Undead Unlock whenever you have the chance. The following entry is Buddy Daddy's. It's been stated time and time again, and I'll say it again. Buddy Daddy's release couldn't have come at a better time. The anime seems to be attempting to capitalize on the huge popularity of Spy Family. It occurred previously, with the surge of post-apocalyptic, violent monster versus human series when Attack on Titan was the trendiest thing on the market. But, in my opinion, Buddy Daddy's gradually carves out a place for itself, making it seem comparable to its counterpart while still being incredibly entertaining in its own right. Buddy Daddy's, for example, seems tight and entertaining as a tale. That is primarily due to how the anime handles some of major subjects, such as child rearing and having reasonably realistic characters for an anime of this type. I believe those components are rather significant, particularly in terms of character development. While the narrative isn't very original, it does include a handful of serious moments with gravity that help balance out the excessive time we spend with this hilarious slice of life. It's tempting to dismiss Buddy Daddy's as being dependent on the success of another program, but give it a shot. It will deliver a unique experience and may be precisely what you're searching for in a daycare anime. Discuss successful remakes. Kenshin 2023 is up next. When it comes to Kenshin 2023, a remake of a 90s classic that has managed to give both new viewers and longtime fans something to look forward to, similar yet different takes on a whole new meaning. The 2023 remake takes the same tale as the original Kenshin and modernizes it with far better visuals and a story that follows the manga more closely. It signifies that it's an anime that digs further into the drama and somber tone of the source manga. However, the source text is not devoid of comedic and lighter moments. Kenshin isn't that type of show, for sure. As someone who enjoyed the 90s version of the anime, it makes me nostalgic. The original's general cheery tone, both in the renowned opening and the response phases, just isn't there anymore, and in its stead comes a more reflective and gloomy atmosphere. That doesn't mean it's horrible. Rather, it's a wonderful retread into old area for those who don't hate the shift as much. After all, it still has the contemplative tale and the great fight scenes down pat. Mashal has also made a name for itself. There always appears to be a demand for parody anime. One that takes certain known cliches and then ramps them up to the point of self-awareness and over-the-top humor. In a nutshell, that's Mashal. Looking at everything, it's easy to get carried away and have a good time playing a game of who's who with everything. Mash himself reminds me of Saitama, and the entire environment is clearly inspired by Harry Potter. While something like Seven Spellblades draws minimal attention to itself, Mashal's general tone emphasizes the knockoff component. Mashal, on the other hand, does an excellent job with execution. The twists and sequences are exactly what you'd expect from a program like this, and while the characters aren't all that distinctive, they all play their parts flawlessly for the context. Mashal might satisfy your demands for comedy, outrageous combat, or simply something to remind you of the good old days of One Punch Man or Psyche K. That brings us to the halfway mark on our list. There's still a lot of action anime to come, but if you've been enjoying the stuff so far, please like it and subscribe to the channel. Trigun Stampede is up next. Kenshin isn't the only renowned classic remade in 2023. We had the modern take on Trigun earlier this year, which ended up being pretty comparable to Kenshin in producing something close to the previous product but different in both subtle and extreme ways. Not to mention the general design and feel of Trigun with the choice to go CG. Trigun Stampede reintroduces original fans to the people and universe they know and love, but with a shift in tone to highlight Vosh more. The character, his roots, and his interactions with those around him are getting more attention, which opens up a pretty different viewpoint that I'm sure both new and returning fans will love. That is not to mean that the anime has become all contemplative and has slowed down. With only 12 episodes, this program is rather short. It gets right to the point quickly, and it peppers all those tense moments with action sequences that look very good for CG. Vintage anime has always been an appealing subject for remakes, and I believe that 2023 has been a good year for them in terms of action titles. Zom 100 is also on the list. This reminds me of the zombie craze of the 2010s. Are zombies cool once more? Not precisely, but Zom 100 lost no time in igniting the anime world. No, adding a storyline and a protagonist character more relevant to today's tired, fresh grandson youth doesn't make Zom 100 a particularly unique zombie apocalypse narrative. But who cares about being creative when you can stand out in other ways? There's great chemistry between members of the main group, and individually, they seem extremely loud and lively in their own ways, just like having movie-quality art and animation from the start and a highly expressive and captivating cast of primary characters. All of this combined to raise the standard on an already fantastic adventure through zombie-infested Japan. Zom 100 is a strong watch that deserves to be considered one of the finest of 2023. It's simply terrible that it's plagued by production issues here and there, but with what we have today, it's still worth seeing. Why not look at the original material while you're at it? It's nothing out of the ordinary, but like with Mashal and Winnegot, the execution and watching the characters in action make it a must-see. Hell's Paradise puts you on an unforgettable experience. If the bright lights and overall joyous ambiance of Zom 100 don't appeal to you, Mappa's Hell's Paradise might be an excellent substitute. This anime, which has the same fantastic animation as Zom 100, transports you to a dangerous island of adventure. Hell's Paradise isn't as bleak as the title or artwork may indicate. Dororo from the previous decade, which also originated from the same studio, is an apt contrast for me. There's the historical background and everything, and it combines the usual setup with the magical attraction of the supernatural. The fights in Hell's Paradise are action-packed and nasty, and the soundtrack truly gets you amped. The action sequences are the finest part of the anime, but it's also not bad when it comes to character development and posing serious issues. Hell's Paradise, in my opinion, is grossly underestimated. It doesn't have the same impact as some of the huge titles from the last year or two, but it deserves to be recognized. In terms of buzz, it's no Chainsaw Man, but among Mapper's recent works, I think this to be a very simple anime to suggest to someone new to the medium who is searching for thrilling action-adventure anime. How about Blades of the Guardians, if we're talking underappreciated? Hell's Paradise may be underappreciated, but no one seems to be talking about Blades of the Guardians. Chinese anime receives little public promotion for the mainstream, and they are utterly eclipsed by even the season's middling blockbusters. I'm not saying they're all fantastic or that the greatest of them are better than Japan's major hits, but I think it's also nice if I can share some of them with you. After all, we have a demonstration of amazingly fantastic combat animation and action scenes from previous successes like White Cat Legend, and Blades of the Guardians has a lot of wonderful things to say about it. Blades of the Guardians offers a simple idea with a historical backdrop, yet there's something compelling about the show that will keep you watching. It might be the characters or the way the plot progresses at a nice pace. It allows you to immerse yourself in the world while experiencing the stakes and hazards of the time period. It didn't take long for me to become fascinated and involved in this anime, so give it a try and see for yourself. Finally, there's Heavenly Delusion. Remember The Promised Neverland or The New World? So, here's a comparable title that, in my opinion, exceeded all expectations and became my favorite of the new action anime from 2023. Integrating solid world building and interesting mysteries into an action title turns out to be a very successful recipe, and it helps that there's this weird atmosphere to keep the viewers on edge, properly considering the anime's more adult topics for the audience. It's not designed to be a mass blockbuster like the major action movies, but it performs more than well enough for itself. Heavenly Delusion has some explicit stuff that may shock viewers, yet it remains one of the greatest in 2023. With enough action and an intriguing setting filled with intrigue, it demonstrates the promise of action anime. After all, it's not all about the dazzling graphics and loud displays of force. I get the allure of hype, but there's a lot more to anime action than that, as Heavenly Delusion demonstrates. I'm also keen to know what the best of 2023 looks like to you, so please share your thoughts. This has been a lot of fun to put together, and I hope you'll check out the channel to hear my perspectives on other issues or see how well my preseason takes have aged now that we're nearing the end of 2023. Thank you for viewing, and I hope to see you again soon.